Hello everyone, Sammy here, and I'm so happy that you've joined me for today's practice, which we're going to focus on the core, okay? So the core are a set of muscles deep inside our torso that support our spine, that help us with our posture. They're the front, sides and back of our bodies. So we use our core every day when we move, even when we're lying down, our core's working as well. So without it, we wouldn't be able to move the torso. So without us even knowing, we're working that core. We only really notice when we're doing specific core exercises, or even when we're picking up a heavy load, we might notice those core muscles tension. So during our poses today, I'm going to offer some variations and some versions. I'm also going to use a brick or two that we can help enhance our practice. If you don't have a brick, books or anything to help bring the floor up, rolled up blankets, towels, whatever. So you don't have to use these, but if you want to, definitely get them along. So we're actually going to start with a nice quick warm-up. If you've been sitting for a while, this will feel nice to move the body around. So starting from the top of our head, we'll just make some gentle circles by dipping the chin to the throat and then gently lowering the head down, and then taking some nice, smooth, steady circles. Having a look at one shoulder and then having a look at the other shoulder. We'll just do a couple of these. And noticing if we're holding any tightness or tension in that neck area, maybe to the shoulders. And then when you're ready, we'll change direction. So moving through your practice today at your own pace, hit the pause button if you want to spend a little longer in a particular pose. And bring the head forward, we'll do some shoulder rolls. Beautiful, and change direction. And then as always, we want to honor our body and how it's showing up today. So it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to push as well, but also know that we're not here to break ourselves. We're here to move the body and feel good. I'll offer guidance with the breath, and if it's not landing with you today, let it go and just breathe your natural breath. Let's get some soft rotations for the spine, for the torso. Again, we're using our core right now. In fact, nearly every pose in yoga, you use your core. Beautiful. It keeps you nice and stable. We're going to reach up and then bend over and do a couple of these. Just gentle sways, opening up the sides of our body, that side part of our core. I have heard that the core actually goes all the way down to your knees. I don't know, it probably does. I only feel it when in here, sort of thing, when I'm working it. But if you feel at your knees, that's okay. So we're going to come up onto our bottoms, do a couple of windshield wipers. I might turn to the side a bit for these, and just let those legs flop side to side, get a bit of movement for the hips. And when we're done with that, we can pick up a leg, bend and straighten a few times, maybe some gentle circles. Just being mindful if your knees are a bit sore or you've had an injury, just being careful with those circles. And then we can flex and point the toes, maybe some rotations for the ankles. And then let's do the same on the other side, a couple of them, maybe some gentle circles if that feels good. Change direction, pointing and flexing, circles for the ankles. And we're done. Beautiful. So we're going to start today's practice on our hands and knees. We'll be on our hands and knees for a couple of these things actually. Just take this back a little bit. Beautiful. So being in hands and knees, if it's causing irritation for the wrist, there's a couple of things you can do. You can roll up the top of your mat, pop it underneath the heels of your hands. If you've got a hand towel, roll the hand towel up and again pop it under the heels of the hands. I'm actually going to use my blocks today. They're quite spongy but still firm, soft but firm. I'm going to rest my hand sort of on the brick, the palm, and let the fingers drape over. It's also going to give me a little bit more height as well. I do like using my bricks a lot with my practice, so give it a go if you've got some bricks or books or something like that. So from here, let's get into tabletop. We've got our knees under our hips Our tippy toes flat on the floor, our hands under our shoulders, and our eyes are looking straight forward and down. So from here, a really nice way to activate that core is to push through the hands and feel that upper back moving towards the ceiling. And you may be aware of some tensioning in that lower abdominal region when you do that. If you don't feel it, that's okay. It's still working. So our first thing that we're going to do is actually, I don't think it's so much a yoga pose, I think it's more Pilates, but that's okay. I'm sure Mr. Pilates won't mind. We're going to do hands and knees extensions. You might have even done this for part of physio if you had some physio work done. So it's a really good stabilizing, core activating movement. So from here, I might take my bricks off for this one, but I think you can do it with bricks underneath your hands. We're going to push through those hands into the floor. Think of reaching that upper back to the ceiling. On your next inhale, let's start with the right hand, left toe. So we're going to extend. We'll take a breath here, just getting a little stabilizers ready and raring. So right pinky, left big toe on the ground. So what we want to be mindful is that we don't sink into this left shoulder, because as we take the weight on one side, we want to our body wants to kind of do this and sink to compensate. So we want to think nice and steady. And then when we're ready, on the exhale, we're going to lift up and we're going to take an extra breath here, just to see how that's feeling. And then what we can do here, we can add a little bit of a movement to this kind of reaching posture. So when we're ready, we're going to exhale to bring the elbow and knee under. Wee, wobbly already. Inhale to extend. And the hands and toes, they'll go about shoulder and hip height. Up to there. Beautiful. Let's do one more. So just making ourselves aware of that left arm, and we're not sinking into that left shoulder. Nice. Whew, I can feel that workout already. So from here, again, pressing through those hands, we're going to pick up the left hand, right toe. So big toe on the back, out the back's resting on the floor, little finger on the front. And then when we're ready, on that exhale, we're going to push up. We'll hold that for a breath and bring our awareness to our right shoulder, and then be mindful not to sink into that shoulder. And then when we're ready, we can exhale, bring the knee under, the elbow under, even tuck the chin a little bit, and inhale, extend. So the slower the better with these. Really take your time. And break this video up into bits. If you just want to hit the pause and do a few sets of these, that's totally okay. You don't have to do the whole video. One more. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, so we've just done our first core postures. We're going to move on to a quick plank. So from here, we've got a couple of options. Keep the knees on the ground, and to get a little bit more intensity into that plank position, start to work the knees behind us, but we still want the shoulders over the wrists. Just coming back to bring your knees back to a point where, yep, I can definitely feel my muscles of my tummy, and even round to the back, you can feel them tensioning. There shouldn't be any pain. It should be just feel like a bit of tensioning, like they're working. We're still reaching the upper back to the ceiling. Eyes looking at the fingers. You can tuck or untuck the toes, or if you like, you can go on your toes. So just tucking those toes, lifting those knees off the ground. So whether you're on your knees or your toes, we're looking for a nice straight line and really driving the upper back upwards. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Ooh, I'm shaking already. And down we go. When you're ready. Beautiful. So while we're on our hands and knees, we're going to turn this into a side plank. This is probably one of my favorite setups for side plank. And again, I'll offer some different versions for side plank. From here, we're going to swing the left foot round the back. We're going to extend the right foot. And actually, I do like doing this with a block. So I'm going to put my hand on a block. It just gives me a little bit more height. Now, just have a quick look underneath you, under your torso. We want to just check that right foot is roughly in line with the left knee. When we're happy with that, we're going to pick up the right hand, start to bring the hips through. We can adjust our back foot and then sweep the arm up. And we're looking at alignment wise, we're looking for wrist under shoulder, shoulder and fingertips. Now, if your arm's getting a bit tired, you can pop it down by your side or even put your hand on your hip as well, drawing that elbow back just a tiny bit. Now, the beauty of this side plank is that we can shift our body weight to our knee or our hand, just depending on where we want to feel the most comfortable evening the load, yeah? Now, the next level of intensity, if you want to up it a little bit, is just lifting that top leg. And then that way you've got your bit of leg work happening as well as core. We're also working this side a bit more because we've lifted up that leg. So we can spend a couple of breaths here. And then another option is to straighten the bottom leg. So you can stack the foot one on top of the other, or you can stagger stance them. So I'm going to stagger it because I find every time I put one foot on top of the other, I just fall over. So I like to stagger mine. So I'm just going to adjust a little bit here and put one in front of the other. Either way, we want that hip, top hip to be reaching upwards and hand under shoulder, shoulder, and then hand if you've got it in the air or on your hips. And try and do smooth, steady breaths. Focus on the breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready and you've had enough of your side plank, you can lower your knees if you've gone up on 2 feet. Sweep the arm down. Whew, come up. Move my block over. Take a few breaths here. Oh my heavens, I don't think I've ever done anything core where I haven't had to take a few breaths in between. So from here, we're going to do the other side. So we'll go in for just a quick normal plank. So pick out whether you're doing knees or toes. Set your eyes in front, just in front of your fingers, and come into plank for a few breaths. And a couple more. Really drawing the belly button up towards the spine, lifting the upper back up, almost like you're trying to separate your shoulder blades. And then when you're ready, we'll come back onto hands and knees and we'll set up for our side plank on the other side. Again, I'm going to grab my block and actually I might turn around so you can see the front. So you will have your right hand on the ground. And from here, you're going to switch your left leg at the back. Right leg out the back, sorry. Right leg out the back. So right hand on the ground, right leg out the back. And then we just have a quick look to see if our left leg, left knee, and our left leg, right knee, right hand's in alignment. I've got my rights and lefts all mixed up here. So we just wanted a nice straight line. So again, this is a really nice side plank position. We do want to make sure the hips are fully the way through, that we're not kind of sticking our bottom out the back. Opening the chest, or you can put your hands on your hip. That's a lovely option too. And then you've got that leg lift. You want to add a little bit more intensity to your side plank. Again, just listen to your body. There's lots going on with this movement. And then you've got the option of planting the foot if it's up, and then if you want to go up onto your legs, extend, and thinking of drawing that hip up. So this is a really great strengthening, not only for your core, but for your arms, your legs. Character strengthening. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, sweeping down, coming down on the floor. I think a little bit of a mini break in crocodile pose would be nice. Or you can come into child's, in fact, come into a position that feels really good for you. Not everybody enjoys child's pose. I actually just like lying on the floor and having a complete rest. So you just do what feels good. Ooh. Taking a moment here. We can stack the hands one on top of each other, let the legs just fall. And takes a few extra breaths here just to get our breath back. Let our bodies come to rest before we move on. Couple more breaths here. Nice, and then when you're ready, just gently begin to look up. We can push the hands, so put the hands either side of the armpits, tuck the toes, and we'll come up into our hands and knees. In fact, I'm going to have a little bit of a drink. Okay. So for this one, the next one, we're going to come into, there's a couple of versions actually. You've got the option of doing your bird dogs where we did the opposite arms and legs, okay? Or down dog into three-legged dog, and then we're going to go from plank, knees in and extend. So either way, whatever option that you decide to do, they're going to be working the core. So it doesn't, listen to your body and just do what feels good for you today, yeah? So from here, so I'll just go through a quick one with the bird dog one. We had an inhale to extend, and we're still contacting the mat. Exhale to lift, and then we take an inhale, and then we exhale, and then we inhale, and then we exhale. And so we'll be doing that for about 3 or 4 times on that side and then the other side. If you want to try this version, we're coming into our down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So hands, we can start underneath the shoulders and just paddle them forward just a little bit to give us some space. We're going to have a look under our knees, tuck the toes, and then come on up. So what we want to do is send the hips high and out the back. So taking a bend in the knee is totally fine with this, okay? If it can help us to send those hips a little bit further out the back. So we take the pressure off those wrists. We want to spread the fingers, whether we're in bird dog or down dog, and think about bringing front hips to front thighs. So from this, when we're ready, we're going to pick up the right foot, send it up into the air, okay, as high as you feel comfortable. And then from here, we're going to inhale into plank and bring the right knee in, and then exhale back into three-legged dog. So this is where you'd be doing your bird dogs instead if you're taking that version. Inhale in, exhale, extend. Let's do 2 more. Inhale in, exhale, extend. Last one. Inhale in, exhale, extend. And then we're going to put our leg down, do a last of our down dogs. Come into plank on 2 feet. We can bring the knees down or come all the way down on hands and toes into chaturanga. Okay, and then we're going to take a little bit of a break here and do locust pose or shalabhasana. So even though the shalabhasana, the essence is opening the chest and using the back muscles, the bottom muscles, the leg muscles, we actually are using the core here, okay? So with our setup, we're going to pop our forehead on the ground, bring our arms either side down by our body, palms down, and let's set up from the toes down. So from here, we're going to start to lift the toenails off the ground. Keep those legs and bottom muscles nice and tense. So we almost want to think about our toenails are being pulled away from our ankles or from our feet. So from here, we'll start to zip up the belly, almost pushing the front of the pelvis into the floor. And then we're going to go up a little further, draw the shoulders to the ears, and then draw the shoulder blades back and down towards the lower part of your back. We'll start to lift the chest. Our eyes are looking just straight down to the mat. So we've got this length through the back of the neck, and your hands can be on or off the floor. It's up to you. Now, if you're finding this is just a little bit too much for your back, even with those cues, just lower your feet to the ground and just lift your upper chest, yeah? So from here, we're nice and open. Our core's working here, supporting us. We'll take 1 more breath. And on our exhale, we're going to let the body melt down. And then we're going to bring our hands either side of our armpits, tuck the toes, come on up. back into our tabletop. So if you're doing your bird dogs, you'll extend your left hand, right big toe, and then do your in and out. If you're doing down dog, pop your hands a little bit further than your shoulders, further in front of your shoulders. Tuck the toes, lift the kneecaps, look underneath. And we want to send those hips up and out the back. So again, take that bend in the knee. And from here, on our next inhale, we're going to lift that left foot, send it up, take an exhale, and then here we go. Inhale, knee underneath to plank, exhale, send it out the back. So let's focus on those even, smooth, steady breaths. Inhale, and exhale into three-legged dog. Inhale into Phalakasana, exhale into Adho Mukha Svanasana. And I can't remember what one we're up to. Oh, let's do an extra one because I've forgotten how many we've done. And last one, inhale, and exhale. And then we can put that foot down and just take a moment here, feeling that nice lengthening along the back of the legs. And then when you're ready, coming into plank. And again, chaturanga down, so dropping the knees is fine with this, coming all the way down, nice and controlled. And we'll do our last locust. So resting the forehead on the ground, bring the arms either side. Let's start from the feet up. So lift the toes off the ground, tense legs, zip up the belly, shoulders up to the ears, and then shoulder blades back and down, lifting the chest, eyes looking just down. Let's take 2 extra breaths here. Everything switched on with this one. Lots going on. One more breath. And then when you're ready, lowering down slow and steady. And let's take a couple of breaths here just to rest. If crocodile feels good for you, you can do that. Just nice, steady, even breaths. Lovely. So that little sequence there that we did with the down dog to plank, doing that a few times, there's some sets of it, like you could do 3 lots of 4 of those. You don't have to do the whole video. You can break it up into little bite-sized pieces. It takes time to develop core strength, and it takes a little persistence and patience. So, do things in little bite-sized pieces and then build up to a little bit longer. So from here, we're going to come into boat pose. So on our hands and knees, we can swing the feet around onto our bottoms. Beautiful. Okie dokie. I'm actually going to use a block for this one as a focus point. You could use a pillow or a book as well. From here, our setup will be feet in line with hips, feet down flat on the floor. So we're feeling nice and grounded. We're actually going to come off the sit bones a little bit and get onto the fleshy part of our bottom. So there's some different versions and I'll step you through them. We can put the hands behind the back of the knees, just lightly there. A little bit of a tuck in the chin so you could fit 4 fingers there, and we'll start to lean back. So if this is where your boat pose is landing today, if this is the jetty it's at, this is terrific. I'm definitely feeling it here. We want the shoulders away from the ears and a nice long spine here. Now, to add a little bit of variety here, we could inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. So just lifting up those legs one at a time. Another option for your hands is actually popping them down just slightly on the floor, so you've got a little bit of support there. Okay, beautiful. If you want to have no hand support, bring the hands up here, or I'm going to use my brick as a focus. Okay, so another level of intensity, if you want to go a little further, I mean, I'm really feeling it already, is taking one foot off and then taking the other foot off while my legs are wobbling. Okay, so we're going to focus on the breath while we're, in our boats. Smooth and steady, nice open chest. Things are shaking. I definitely need to do more core work. Ugh. And then when you've had enough of that, we can lower it down. Oh my heavens. All right, so beautiful way to get in and out of that boat is just take your time, have a rest when you need it, and then come in and out of it, rather than just trying to persevere through the whole thing. Do what you can, have a little mini break, and then get back into it, yeah? So I'm gonna try one more time, set myself up, reset. I've had a little mini break, and then here we go. Let's see if we can get a little bit longer. That's a bit better. Just a bit of a reset. Oof. And now it's kicking in. Nice open chest. Beautiful, lower down. Nice. So the last two poses that we're going to do, they're going to be lying down. We're going to do bridge pose, so Bandha Samagāsana. Pop your feet flat on the floor. We can scooch our bottoms towards our ankles. This can be a nice way to get down onto the floor and start to lower down. So we've got our feet, the tailbone to the back of our back of our shoulders and the back of our head connected to the floor here. So with our bridge pose today, we're going to add a little bit of an element, a core element, by extending the legs straight, okay? You are using your core muscles just doing bridge pose. You don't even have to extend the leg, okay? So it's up to you whether you want to add that leg bit. So from here, on our inhale, we're going to tilt the pelvis just a tiny bit, and then we're going to start to roll the hips up. Maybe wiggle the shoulders a little bit underneath to help open the chest a bit more. It's up to you. Arms relax down. Pushing through those strong feet, the big little toe, the heel. Just taking an extra breath or two, feeling those glutes switched on. And if you like, you can, well, so we're going to actually extend the leg, bend it, and then come down and have a little bit of a mini break. So from here, on an inhale to prepare, we'll exhale, extend right leg. Inhale to lower right leg. Exhale to lower down to the ground. Now we're going to do the same on the left. Inhale to lift the hips up. Exhale, extend the left leg, trying to keep that pelvis nice and even. Inhale, lower the foot. Exhale to lower down. So as you extend a leg, your body wants to tip or twist to the side. So see if we can try and really keep that pressure through that foot on the floor and keep the hips nice and even. So just take your time. You even might want to adjust where your feet are in terms of how close they are to your bottom. So we're going to inhale, roll the spine, gently lift up by pushing through both feet. Exhale, pick up the right and extend it. Inhale to lower. It doesn't have to be real high with that foot either. Exhale to lower. Nice and smooth and slow and steady. Inhale, roll up. As high as you feel that you can. Exhale, extend the left leg. Inhale to lower. And exhale to roll down. So lots of strength work for the legs and glutes as well. Last one more each side. Inhale, roll up. And extend the leg on the exhale. Inhale to lower. And exhale, lower the body down to the mat. Last one on the left. Rolling up on the inhale. Extending the left leg on the exhale. Inhale to lower that foot down. And exhale to lower the body. Nice. Alrighty, we can uncurl the shoulders a little bit from underneath. Maybe take a little bit of a mini massage. Or you can do the windshield wipers, can be a nice option. And from here, we're going to go on to our very last core exercise for our core yoga practice. So from here, we're going to pick up the feet off the floor. Now, knees are over the hips, arms a little bit away from the body. We're going to cement those shoulder blades into the ground, so really keep them stuck there. Now this is a really nice way to activate the core, maybe a little bit of a pelvic tilt up. If you find you're arching your spine, just tilting the pelvis up a little bit. If this is where your twist is landing today and you're happy here, just nice controlled breaths in this right angle knee hip position. If you'd like to go and to the next part of it, you can, on your next exhale, turn to the left. Now we want to keep those legs hovering off the ground, so keep that right shoulder blade cemented to the floor and inhale back to center. So as we go from one side to the other, keep those shoulder blades glued to the ground. Exhale, inhale, slow and steady, exhale, and inhale. And if your legs flop on the ground, that's okay. Just reset and start again. Beautiful. Let's do one more each side. Exhale. Slow and steady. Inhale. Oh, definitely feeling this. Last one. And inhale. Yay. Beautiful. And again, if you want to take a little bit of a mini massage while your feet are off the floor or windshield wiper the legs, go for it. All right, when you're ready, slowly lowering the feet down. Maybe a nice big stretch to lengthen out those abs. So let's take an inhale, stretch out the legs. Bring the arms above your head if that feels good. Really pull yourself apart. And then exhale, flop the arms down by the side. Let's do one more. Inhale to lengthen, really reaching. And exhale to let it go. Nice. So, now we're up to Shavasana, which is where we get to reap all the rewards of our core practice. So grab any props that's going to make you feel nice and comfy. I'm going to grab my bolster here. And yeah, come into a position that feels good. I think we deserved it after all that hard work. Okie doke. So from here, you may like to shut the eyes or soften the gaze. And then just bring your awareness to your breath. If it's feeling a little bit labored, still feeling the effects of our core work, just focus on smoothing out, steadying the breath. Notice the breath moving in and out without any effort, doing its own thing. And with every exhale breath, allow those muscles and joints to relax. Those core muscles to go soft. Give them a bit of a rest. And when you're ready, and you can stay longer in Shavasana, again just hit that pause button and take your time. But if you'd like to join me slowly coming out of your Shavasana, let's bring some movement back to our bodies, maybe wiggle fingers and toes. Do those stretches again, maybe a deeper breath if that feels good. And then when you're ready, coming up into a nice comfy position. Lovely. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. If you'd like to, bring your hands to your heart space with a gentle bow as we thank our own amazing bodies for moving and for being still, for our breaths for nourishing us, and for our minds for guiding and supporting us. Take your time with your core work. Be kind to yourself. These things take time to develop. And the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining me today. for this challenging practice. I'm always challenged with core work, so I'm so glad I got to share this space with you. And have a beautiful day or evening whenever you're doing your practice, and I'll see you next time. Bye.